Day 2 of the Australian Open has been a busy and eventful one in Melbourne. While many of the top names handled their business as expected, the day was not without drama, surprises, and an early headline that could shape the rest of the tournament. As the first round continues to unfold, we've already seen a mix of dominant performances, solid wins from contenders, and one significant upset that has everyone talking. The biggest news from Day 2 came from the men's draw, where Felix Auger-Aliassime's campaign came to an abrupt end. The Canadian, once considered one of the brightest young stars in the game, was forced to retire in his first-round match against Nuno Borges. At the time of the retirement, Auger-Aliassime was trailing 2-1, having struggled to find consistency against the steady and composed Portuguese player. Novak Djokovic opened his Australian Open campaign with a solid and comfortable straight sets win over Pedro Martinez Portero. The Serbian looked sharp from the start, controlling rallies with depth and precision while rarely allowing his opponent to settle. Djokovic's serve held up well, and his movement around the court looked smooth and efficient. It was a composed, business-like performance that sends an early message as he moves confidently into the next round. Stan Wawrinka rolled back the years with a gritty 4-set victory over Laszlo Djere, reminding everyone that his game still belongs on the biggest stages. The three-time Grand Slam champion weathered early resistance from Djere, who tried to drag the match into long, physical baseline exchanges, but Wawrinka's experience and shot-making ultimately told. After dropping a set, Wawrinka raised his level, leaning on his trademark one-handed backhand to take control of rallies and dictate play when it mattered most. Elsewhere in the men's draw, Australia's own Alex de Minaur gave the home crowd plenty to cheer about with a straight sets victory over Mackenzie McDonald. De Minaur's speed, court coverage, and relentless pressure proved too much as he closed the match in 3 sets without dropping control. It wasn't necessarily flashy, but it was professional and efficient, exactly what you want to see early in a Grand Slam. Daniil Medvedev also moved safely into the next round, winning in straight sets in a performance that was classic Medvedev, methodical, awkward for his opponent, and mentally rock solid. While it wasn't his most explosive showing, Medvedev never looked in serious danger, using his deep return position and flat ground strokes to neutralize his opponent's offense. As a former Australian Open finalist, Medvedev knows how to manage his energy in the early rounds, and this kind of controlled win is a reminder that he remains one of the main threats to go deep in Melbourne once again. Jaume Munar delivered the match of the day, surviving a 5-set thriller in dramatic fashion. Facing match point, Munar refused to go away, digging deep and turning the momentum with fearless shot-making and grit. It was a remarkable comeback that earned him a hard-fought place in the next round. Another notable men's result came in the form of an upset, as Fabian Morosen defeated Arthur Rinderknecht in 4 sets. Morosen, who has quietly built a reputation as a dangerous floater in the draw, showed his ability to step up in big moments, particularly in the longer rallies. Rinderknecht had chances to turn the match around, but Morosen's composure and shot selection ultimately made the difference. On the women's side, Coco Gauff got her Australian Open campaign off to a strong start with a convincing 6-2, 6-3 win. Gauff looked composed and confident from the opening games, controlling rallies with her forehand and serving well under pressure. While her opponent had moments of resistance, Gauff's athleticism and improved decision-making allowed her to pull away comfortably in both sets. She now moves onto the second round, where the level will increase, but this performance suggests she's mentally locked in and ready for a deep run. Iga Swiatek advanced to the next round with a straight sets win. Though it was far from a comfortable outing, the world number 1 was pushed out of her rhythm at times, struggling to find her usual dominance from the baseline as her opponent challenged her with depth and variety. Despite the pressure, Swiatek's composure and mental strength stood out. She raised her level in the key moments, tightened up her unforced errors, and relied on her consistency to close both sets. It wasn't her cleanest performance, but champions find ways to win, and Swiatek moves on, having survived an early test. Amanda Anisimova also progressed smoothly, winning her match in straight sets. Anisimova's power was on full display as she dictated play from the baseline, taking time away from her opponent and finishing points decisively. When Anisimova is healthy and confident, she's one of the most dangerous players in the draw, capable of upsetting anyone. This opening round win should give her belief heading into the next match, where she'll likely face a tougher test that will demand consistency as well as aggression. Mira Andreeva battled through a tough three-set match, showing maturity well beyond her years. After being pushed hard and tested physically and mentally, she stayed composed in the deciding set, finding her range when it mattered most. It wasn't easy, but Andreeva's resilience carried her through. Jessica Pegula joined the list of American winners on day 2 with a straight sets victory of her own. Pegula's game, built on clean ball striking and tactical intelligence, translated well to the Melbourne courts. She moved her opponent side to side and rarely gave away free points, keeping control throughout the match. Pegula is known for her reliability in the early rounds of majors, and this result keeps her firmly on track. Overall, Day 2 of the Australian Open delivered exactly what fans expect in the opening stages of a Grand Slam: solid wins from contenders, promising signs from dark horses, and at least one major storyline that could have ripple effects throughout the tournament. The retirement of Felix Auger-Aliassime stands out as the most significant development so far, raising questions about his health and future trajectory, while opening up that section of the draw for other players. With many of the biggest names still yet to take the court, there is plenty more drama to come. As the first round continues, the focus will shift toward potential blockbuster matchups, emerging upsets, and whether the top seeds can avoid early trouble. If Day 2 is any indication, this Australian Open is already shaping up to be unpredictable, intense, and full of storylines worth watching. That's what the second day of the Australian Open delivered. If you enjoy the summary, leave a like and subscribe. See you tomorrow.